music. Oh, sorry guys, my bad. Dude, I didn't even put my music, I'm sorry about that. Why didn't somebody say that? Okay. Okay, can you hear me now? I was on YouTube on silent, my bad. Silent mode. Right. All right. So, anywho, so you can see how I break my hair down into shapes so that I don't have to use that many lines to be able to draw my caricature. Okay. So look at this. Not a lot of lines. The thing is the less is best. Less is best, right? One thing I learned about playing, like I've been recently like studying piano. Actually, I've been doing. And what I've learned is that, you see some musicians that press every note in the whole key to be able to make a sound. And then you got some that don't do that. And which one sounds better in the world? Well, the people that are actually listening to the music don't care about that. Only musicians care about that. Same thing with caricature. The only person that cares about how much details you put in a picture, these overly exaggerated, overly done caricatures, is you. The person that you give them the picture to, they don't care if you give them, matter of fact, they would prefer it look like a dignified picture of them, because, you get what I'm saying? Now, some people have those kinds of senses of humor, but it's very far and few in between. I've been doing this a lot of years. Let me go ahead and add some shadows in here. Okay. So once I add these shadows, you're going to see my picture just really starts to come out. Okay. It wants to come out and play. Okay. Okay. Just with little small details, you can do a whole lot. Okay. It took a lot of years for me to learn this, but luckily for you, you have an art teacher, right? You can learn from me that you don't need to do all that excessiveness, right? You just need the basics of the face, right? And you need to be able to use your ability to imagine. There's no way I can take decision making out of caricature. You're going to have to learn how to make decisions, right? Up here, right? I might get another marker. I might get this. These are all done in Sharpie, by the way. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do here. See this first part right here? See how I colored it in? Then back here, I'll leave a little bit of space between line 1 and line. See how everything comes in, right? And then that back here, then I just go ahead and now I just start coloring in. So nobody can see my lines in between my shapes except in the beginning. After that, I just kind of take them off. Okay. All right. So pretty much, this is what I think Martin Luther King would look like. Let me go ahead and shadow these in with my crayon here. In fact, we can do this whole suit here with a light crayon, just like that, right? And you see how we can make different shadows and gradients and things of that nature, right? And let me see here. I think that's pretty much it. I think we could just go ahead and wrap it up, right? We don't need a lot of details here. Okay. And then we'll just put Martin Luther. What am I using for shadows? Jeannie asked what I'm using for shadows. I'm actually using a gray Sharpie, a gray Crayola type marker. I found a bunch of these at a deal, but any type of gray marker will work. If you have a magic marker that's gray, you can use it, and it's really cool, again, for doing all of your different shadows. Here, I forgot to add this shadow in here. Yeah, just like that. Something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and sign our work real quick. Do you have to use pastels to color? Do you have to use pastel? No, you don't have to. Just gave you a follow. I teach elementary art and love making new things for my kiddos. Hey, awesome, Angelica. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay. Oh, also, guys, just real quick, let me give you guys a little bit of information here. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to show you a couple of things here. Okay, hold on. First off, is if you'd like to take any type of classes with me, I'm an online caricature art teacher, so I teach private lessons. So you can book classes at my website, and we'll get you set up. You can go to rouserworld.com/classes, and you can check that out. Okay. The second thing is we do have a Patreon page. So on there, you'll have access to some exclusive videos just designed for people or for those my fans or that want to support me in this artistic journey that me and my wife put together. It's like it's a little ministry for of artists, and basically you'll see at the end of our stream we always share. I'll share a little bit of my devotional time with you. This is just my way of giving back for what I was blessed with. So if you want to be a part of my Patreon, our Patreon family, go head over to patreon.com/rouserworld. In fact, what's up, Cherish? Cherish is my top tier Patreon. Thank you, Cherish, so much for all this love and support you've shown me over the years, Miss Ebony, and everybody that's new members. In fact, we just got a new member the other day, and that was super awesome. So again, guys, check that out. Also, if you wish to tip, tips are appreciated. If you are looking at tipping or just because of the lessons you got today, or just because you'd like to show a little love, you can do so by going to Cash App and using $Rouser World. Of course, the Rouser will super appreciate it. I got my party streamer right there for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back into it, guys. And then we'll all right, so who is our next person? And you guys feel free to make requests. If you have any requests today, you want me to do a particular person, you guys can send a message here. All right, so let me see here. Let's do who do we have next? Why does it keep like not going to the actual? Let me see. So the next person I'm gonna do, I'll tell you what, this is how we're gonna make this easy. Okay, let me write down the next three picks. So we got Jack, Quaid. I got Alonzo. I don't know who that is. Let me see. Karen. Oh my goodness. Karen, Fukuhara. Fukuhara. Okay. All right. Let me see. So we got 1, 2, 3. And then who is this? We got Aaron Moriarty. Anybody know who that is? Aaron Moriarty. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so let's put Martin to the side and let's look up Jack Quaid. So let's go to the internet here and look up Jack Quaid, Quaid, American actor. I remember that guy. Seems like I've seen him somewhere before. Okay, he has a really interesting face. So let's see here. Let's go with what about this face here? It looks really happy in that picture. Then we got this one with that smile. Which one do you think would be a better picture? I don't know. Let me see. Then you got this picture here. Jack Quaid. I think I'll use this one right here. This is a good picture of him. Okay. Yeah, I think the one with the teeth would be better. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, no problem, Jeannie. Got you. And don't forget, guys, super stickers are appreciated. If you guys want a tip, use that super sticker button. let's go ahead and get the this guy here on paper. Okay, so now what am I thinking about when I draw this picture right here? Okay, I'm gonna tell you most heads to me are shaped like uh, uh most heads are shaped like what's the word I'm looking for? Like milkshakes to me. Okay, let me if you think of a milkshake, right? I think of a milkshake that looks like this. Okay, if you got a little milkshake, right? All right, so what I do is I either have the milkshake like this or I turn the milkshake like this. Okay, in this particular situation, his milkshake is upside down. So and it's a little bit, it's a different top on it. So the top of his milkshake, it looks more like like almost like a coffin. So if you want to think of it as a coffin too, I think of it like that. So watch how my pencil moves when I have an understanding of what I want to draw. Watch this. Okay. Okay. Look at my coffin shape. And look how I'm bringing everything into submission. I'm just decorating this coffin that's underneath there. Look at the ears. You see? Okay. See? Now up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a semicircle, okay, with texture on it. So something like this. It doesn't matter what the semicircle looks like as long as it's a semicircle with texture. You see how I didn't try to copy this exactly? I looked at the whole shape and I put my hand right here. In my mind, I put my hand there and the only thing I can see is a semicircle on top of this shape right here. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So then I just come to the side and I'm looking over here again and I'm seeing a shape come from underneath. So you see how the semicircle is out here? Well, this is what balances the head back out. When I go here, it's a shape coming out of here that's textured back into our major shape. You see? So I got a quick head shape in moments just by thinking of something that I already understand how to draw. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my brow shape. Okay. So, excuse me one sec here. Something looked like it went down some. Hold on. Let me see here. Hold on, guys. My lighting went down for some reason. Seemed like it did anyway. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to my brow shapes. Okay. So we got this brow. I'm going to do like this. Okay. Again, I want to try to use an open shape as much as possible. Less lines is best. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my nose shape. Now he does have a rather short nose. So what I'm going to do here, boom, I'm going to put a short bridge and a very round, bally kind of a nose like this. You get what I'm saying? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this shape right here at the bottom of it. If you look at his cheeks, it makes this shape like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a diamond, almost like a very wide diamond. So we can see how much wider, we can really appreciate how much wider it is than the rest of the face. So we can do something like this. Watch. Okay, you see how that looks? And see how I left out some things. See here, there are two distinct points where the mouth is stopping, and then there's a one for the cheek. But here in a caricature, you want to combine those things. You don't want to try to do it that way. Give me just a second here, guys. Let me turn this on here. I think that'll help us out a little bit. Okay, there we go. So we can get a little bit of air up there. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my top lip here, which we can actually leave it out because it's so small that, again, that's not something that we need to worry ourselves with. We just want the mustache shape in there. And see on this one how I didn't use a lot of lines in the mustache. Like I didn't fill it all the way in. You get what I'm saying? Now when I go here, I'm gonna go like this. Okay, see that? And then watch my teeth shape. What I'm gonna do is here, I'm gonna go with my gum line first. So watch how I go with my gum line. And I got a trick for gum lines too. Again, go ahead and take a class with me. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so you can see that, and then we have this. Okay, now we have our outside shapes. Okay. Hey. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go to my my eyes. Okay. So for the eyes for him, he has very to me telltale sign. He has a what I'm talking about. He has my what's the word I'm thinking about? Uh, I'm thinking about a Star Trek sign almost like and I know it's hard for you to imagine this, but this is what I'm going to do here. Watch. Okay. And then what I want to do here, put those eyes in there, right? Boom, boom, like that, right? It's like that. Okay. Okay. Just like that. Now, if you want to add some more roundness to the cheek, just put a little line right there like that, right? Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and just shadow in my brows. Okay. Again, there's a million different ways to draw this guy. This is just the way that I would draw him. Does that make sense to you? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and now we can add shadows to our drawing. Again, shadows are a part of my particular way of approaching caricature. I don't rely so much on a lot of, because I use Sharpies. Sometimes I can't get like what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm gonna show you an example. I'm gonna use this marker for one of my caricatures, and you're gonna see the difference between a brush tip, right? And you're gonna see a difference between that and using a Sharpie. I like Sharpies because you can't hide behind your lines. You got to know what you're doing when you use a Sharpie, because these right here tend to, you can press really hard and make a thick line, and you can almost distract from what you're doing by using those thick lines. But this way makes you, again, have to move the picture with, or move your marker with certainty. Okay, so here I'm just going to add a couple of little strands of hair. Not much. I don't want to overwork it. Okay, and then I'm going to go over here and watch as I add my shadows in. Boom, boom. As you see it, you'll see my picture just begin to kind of just come toward me, right? And it has the same effect as if I would have used a lot of thick lines in my picture, right? I don't have to do a whole lot, right? Look at this. Boom. Okay. All right. And hold on one second, guys. Let me turn my lights down some, because these things, sometimes I don't like these lights. Sometimes they just be messing up my stream. I got these lights sometimes where they're sensitive to the what's the word I'm looking for? They're sensitive to the heat. Something of that nature. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more of those other lights too, so I don't have to have this problem no more. I'm done with it. Okay. All right. Can you guys still see pretty good until this light comes back on? I'm not gonna be able to. There's nothing I can do about that. So it'll come back on in a minute here. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So let's go ahead and finish up our shadowing. Okay. Oh my goodness. Now the other light cut off. Oh my gosh. Hold on, guys. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me turn them off. And then wait for them to come back on. They just probably overheated. So give it just a minute, guys. The light will improve in just a minute here. Give me a minute. All right, let me see here. Let me see if we can turn them back on now. Okay. All right. Anyway, we'll just keep going, and then once it clears up, give me just a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go back into it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and shadow in my ear shapes here underneath the chin. Okay, and I like to add some darks like right around the side of the mouth shape. So like right in here, right, you'll see that I just accent this part right here just a bit. That's just my little touch that I like to see how it makes that smile look a little bit more, you know what I mean? Okay. Now, hey, thanks, Darby. I appreciate you. All right. Let's do our hair shape. So with the hair, we can just use a crayon, right? So I got these crayons here, right? And again, I don't try to color in anything perfect. I like to go with the flow of the hair. Okay. So you watch here, I'm just flowing with it. Okay. I'm just going with the flow. Okay. All right. So pretty much, guys, we're done with that picture. I believe this guy's name was Grog Harrison. All right, hold on. We got you. What's the name? Grog? Let me write that down real quick. Yeah, those crayons, man. They really, let me see. Grog Harrison. Okay, so we'll do that picture for you here next, okay? Then we have a Peter Tosh. Let's see. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and look up. Let's go ahead and look that up real quick. So let's put this to the side here. So we've done two caricatures. We did Tomer Capone, and then I believe this guy's name was Jack Quaid, right? Is that who this is? Jack Quaid? Yeah. Let's go ahead and put his name down there. Q-U-A. Okay. Oh, they misspelled Dennis Quad. Jack Quad. Oh, it's Quad. Uh-oh. Well, this is now it's Jack Quad. Sorry about that. No. Wait. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So let's put this one aside and let's look up Groggy Harrison. So let's see if we can find that. Groge Harrison. Okay. Did I say that? Groggy? Groge Harrison. Ah, no, this says George. Is that, am I right? Did I hold up? Groggy. Is that him? No, that can't be him. That's not the right way. Groge Harrison. Oh, George Harrison. Okay, so that would be this guy. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so let me find an image that I like of him. Okay. Let me see. This one looks like a pretty cool picture of him right here. He looks mean right there. Golly. What about let me see here. Let's see if we can find a good one. I think I like that one right there. This one's a cool one too. Yeah, this one right here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so this guy right here, um, classic, classic, classic. This is a something like that. Something like that. Something like this. Something like that. Let's put some beads on his neck. Okay. Now we got to get this hair in here. All right. So what am I seeing across it? I'm seeing a lot of layers here. So I got to work with layers. So I'm going to do my hair in sections. I never draw my hair all at one time. So I got one section, two sections, right? You see how I work it? So I put it in parts because he has big hair. One, two, three. Okay, so I got three sections right there. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, what's going on, Darby? How are you? And sorry about that, Mr. Van Dyke. I am so sad. I'm so bad about it. I'm sorry. All right. So let's get his eyebrows in there. He has some nice thick, he has some really prominent eyebrows. So I'm going to make those a little bit more prominent on him on this picture. Okay, then I'm going to go to my this shape here. You have a long nose. You got like a shape like this. So I'm just going to go like this. All right. And then we're going to do like this. Yes. Okay, how am I going to... Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and put... Now, he has a bit of an offset in his eye, looks like there. So, well, let me see here what I can do. I can... 1, 2... 1, 2. 1, 2. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, and then we got these little lines out here at the bottom, right? And then we're gonna, let's see, I'm gonna switch up markers real quick so I can do my darks, okay? So let's do this here. So I'm going with a chisel tip here. These chisel tips cover a little bit more ground when I want to do like really dark stuff here. Right? Okay. And then we'll do like this. Okay, we got that. We got that all in there. I think we don't need to do nothing else right there. Yeah. All right, now let's go ahead and do our shadows real quick. Okay. So I'm gonna put some shadow right here. And some shadow right here. Shadow right here. Okay. On the side. And then a little bit underneath this hair shape to make it look like the hair is just kind of standing out. Right? So I have a very, very, again, portraiture type style of caricature. I don't like to go too like far out in the ocean. If that's your style, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I don't get into those type of things. I just all right. Now let's do the hair real quick. So we're gonna use the same crayon. Let me just peel back my paper on this a bit so we can use it. All right, here we go. So let's see what we got here. You ready? So this hair should only take us like maybe 60 seconds. Okay. Should only take about that long to do your hair. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just is a representation of his actual hair. Okay, side one, right? Then we come over here. Boom, 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 right? And then we got this side over here. Okay. And I'm always leaving lighting in my hair so that you'll be able to tell between the different layers. Ladies, any ladies watching the stream today, a good tip here is to think of, when you draw hair, think of it like the layers that they use in your hair when they cut your hair, right? They don't just start cutting the hair. They layer it, right? So that it falls a certain way. So things are in front of and in back of things. And if you don't draw your hair like that, you'll get it wrong just about every time. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, don't do it that way. All right, now let me see here. We got this little, he got his little shirt right here, right? And then we got this little jacket here, and he's got like a little thing right here, right? Yeah. All right, and so it looks like we're good. At the end, if you want, you can add little hairs on the outside, right? Stuff like this, right? And see how these little hairs can make things look realistic just by adding just a few little hairs. But sometimes when we start off, we want to draw all these hairs and stuff first, and then it just confuses things. So don't do that. Don't be a over hair drawer. Okay. All right. So this is, who is this? Wait a minute. Where's that paper? Hold on, guys. Okay. So this is Grove George Harrison. Okay. George Harrison. Okay. All right. So let's go to our next picture. Also, guys, just real quick while I got you here, don't forget, if you'd like to take a class with me, I do online classes, browserworld.com/classes. So if you want to learn how to draw a caricature, I can teach you. All right. This is if you want to be a part of our Patreon. I do have a Patreon page where I share some behind the scenes stuff with you. Some more in-depth lessons. there as well. So this is a good option if you really can't afford to take a class per se, but you want to learn. You can go here to Patreon, and I believe our least expensive tier is only like $5 a month or something like that. And then you can go in and you have access to some videos, and then obviously the higher tiers get access to more videos. So this is kind of how it works out. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do here, and then also tips are appreciated if you guys feel that you've benefited from the stream in some way, whether it just be it release some stress for you or you learned something today. This is what I do full time, so thank you so much if you want to tip. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's go to our next drawing request. I had a request for Peter Tosh. So I'm going to look Peter Tosh up real quick here. Hold on, let me see if I can find him. Wait a minute. Peter Tosh. Let me see. Peter Tosh. Oh, okay. It seemed like I remembered him. I seemed like I heard that name. Okay, so he's a reggae singer, apparently. Okay. And so let me see which one I want to do with him. Hold on, guys. All right, let me see here. Let me see. So which one am I going to do here? I guess this one right here. Is that him too? I don't even know if that's him with the glasses. I don't know if it looked the same. Let me see here. Okay, this one looks like a cool one of them. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna try to do this one right here. Okay. All right. So what would I do on this one right here? All right. So I'm gonna try this one with. I'm gonna show you the difference between these brush tips. I said I was gonna do that, and a regular Sharpie. So brush tips. Okay, you can. Let me show you what I mean. You can. So if you see how the hold on a sec, guys. Hold on. Okay. All right. So here we go. So it gives you a little bit more of a little bit of a thicker line, which I like it. Okay, this is the hat up here. And then what I'll do here, I kind of think of the hat the same way, right? This is the front of the hat. And then you have the side of the hat, which is way back here somewhere. And then you got these braids kind of coming out of the hat. Okay. These are, you gotta, with these, I try to draw with my fingers really close to the edge of the marker. This way, and here I don't want to use too many lines. Okay, let's go ahead and put that neck over here. And then he got his hair coming down over here. Okay. So you want to get into the flow. You really want to try to flow with this as much as possible. I can't see how his ear looks on this picture or nothing like that, so I'm going to leave all that out. But this is a picture again of Peter Tosh. So all I got to do here is just do this thing here. Let me see. He has a, this is what he kind of knows he got. He got a boom, and then he got one of these noses. Right, kind of like a rounded like nose like that. Right, and then he got some He got some right. Okay. Then he got this right here. All right. The mustache too. All right. Okay. Let me see. Thank you so much, Draw. Appreciate you. All right. Then we come over here. We'll just make these a little bit wider. And then I'm going to go with these eye shapes. So there's some little eyes right there. So this is what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to do something like this. Make sure I got it all the way, boom, like this. Boom. So I like to come outside like this. And then I want some shapes that are very little, very square, like that. So I'm shooting for the feel of the eye. So I don't like to chase the eye. I like the eye to come to me. So I always try to draw the eyes outside inwards so I can make my distance correct. A lot of times you can get your distance wrong if you don't use that method. Okay. So here I'm just gonna kind of color in a little bit of the eye shape. I feel like this is a very good picture of him. I don't feel like there's really much else I could do as far as okay, as far as likeness is concerned, right? And up here we'll just do a little. See what I'm saying? Got this here, and again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Don't shoot for perfection so much. Your imperfection is what makes your drawing look cool. That's what makes people laugh. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Sometimes people will laugh at something in my caricature, and I'll be like, that was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life, right? But they found funny in it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, hey, how are you today, Riley? If you want to get a caricature drawn by me, check it out. I have a menu that I can send you by email, or I can send it through Messenger or something like that. So what I'll do here is check it out. Go to do me a favor, okay? Go to rouserworld.com, right? And just go to the contact page, and then you can make a request, send the picture to me, and then I'll draw it for you. Now my drawings, when I do drawings up for commission, they're a lot bigger. So you're going to get my drawings are about 18 by 12s when I draw them like for commissions. So they're going to be a lot bigger. This is a very small sheet of paper that I'm working with here. But and then I'll send you all the information, okay? Oh, by the way, guys, I do commissions. Christmas time is coming up, right? Boom, you want to do something better than just getting somebody a t-shirt, or the same thing you get them every year. What better way to do it than getting them a Rouser World caricature, right? Because you can see now, I'm not gonna make fun of them. They're just gonna look fresh, and they're gonna hang it in their living room. And if they like a sports team or something like that, I could put the sports teams in there. I can do themes for you, whatever you want. But most of the time, but for the stream, just to keep it brief or to keep my hand moving, I try to just stick to the faces because I find that that's what everybody's interested in. So again, just go right there, and I'll do that for you. Okay. Thank you, Riley. All right. Also, again, guys, don't forget, check out Patreon, and tips are awesome. Thank you. Woo! Right. All right. So let me go ahead and shadow in. Is this Peter Tosh? Right. I'm shadowing in Peter Tosh. So let's go here. Okay. Okay. And this is where this is where the magic happens, man. It's the magic. Okay. So like that. Okay, we got a little shadow up here maybe. And then when I get to the hair, you're gonna see how I do this hair. For his hair, I'm gonna use a chisel tip. because of the braids in the hair. So I'm gonna show you a quick way that I do the braids on this one in case you get stumped anytime you use braids, right? Okay, so that's his face right there. All right, now let me see. Let's go with the Sharpie here. So again, this shouldn't take just maybe a minute here to do this hair, right? This is literally what I do when I do braids sometimes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we'll go over here. Okay, and I'll start with 9.2. All right, guys, so we got about, I'd say 10 more minutes of drawing. And then after that, I'm going to do my word of the day. I do that on every stream. So I'm going to share my devotional time with you because I believe, right, that how you draw is closely related to how you think, right? Right? If it is how you think, right? So even if you can do this really well, but you don't have a love in your heart for it, right? Because I'm not the best caricature artist on the planet. Not on this planet anyway. Yeah. But when you don't do it with that love in your heart for it, no matter how good your drawing, I guess the word is aesthetically looks, you still, you know what I mean? Your drawings lack something. You know what I'm saying? That's funny because in this picture right here, his face looks more chiseled. Here, his face looks more round. Yeah, maybe he lost some weight between those two pictures. All right, so we got time for one more picture here, and then it's going to be about 10:50. I want to end at about 11:15. So let's go ahead and go to our next one. Our next drawing is going to be Aaron. Wait a minute. Let me see. Aaron, Erin, Aaron, Moriar, American actress. Oh, okay. I think I've seen her before. Let's look at her. Let's see if we can find her a good picture of her face. Maybe this one. This one. This is a good one too. I don't like that. Too much stuff around. Okay, this one looks like a cool one. This is a little bit of a 3/4 view, but we can get it. We can do some 3/4, right? All right. So let me see what we got here. All right. So what would I do for this picture here? How would I start this off? Well, I'm going to tell you what I would do here is I would want a shape that concentrates. Her face is not long to me. Her face is, I would rather either keep this face equilateral as far as dimension going this way and that way, but I would definitely not do anything long. So what I'm saying is, just before, I'm going to just give you an example. I wouldn't draw her face and do something like this. You get what I'm saying? Even though I could get away with it, right? Just like this is, say, if I did this, all right? Right? Even though I could get away with it, You get what I'm saying? You see how long this shape here looks? I wouldn't do this in her caricature, even though I could get away with it. You see? Even though I could get away with doing something like this very quickly, and it looks like her, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it, but this is just not the way that I would approach that. Okay. Well, how I would approach this one is I would go with something a little bit shorter, even though that is kind of funny. All right. I would do something like this. Let me show you. Okay. Let's go with my Sharpie here. Okay, now watch this. This is a little bit more, right? I want some more angles in her face. So I want to be thinking about I want shapes like this. Let me say. See how wide that shape is at the base? And then up here, as it gets to the top of the head, it comes around, maybe to about right there before this little piece comes out, right? Okay, and then it goes to the top of the hair here, and then we have the side here, and then we have the little top buns here. You see? And then it just kind of comes around where our hair just flows, right? And it flows over here. One. All right. And then you have your other hair coming from behind it. And then you got another line back here and your hair going straight. So she has a lot of straightness going on here. You see how the hair doesn't look overworked. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So you don't want to overwork your hair. Now I'll come over here. Right? Right? Now I'm just going to give her a little bit of attitude with her eyebrows, right? A little bit of attitude, right? Now, she got this nose like this. She got a nose that just goes like, it kind of hooks out and is round and little, right? And then she got her lip here. So we're going to do like this. She got a little mouth. So we want to do something that's little, right? You see? Something little. And then we come back with these eye shapes, right? So she got round eyes to me. So what I want to do, and her eyes are also close together. So I want to do something like this. Boom, right? Boom, right? You see how round I made that? Before I come out here, I don't want to chase my eyes again. I want them to come to me. So I put everything that I can see around it. And then I might come over here and be like, okay, look. Then I come over here. You see? Like that. Boom. Okay. So now, right? Now we come over here. Add some lashes, right? And then over here, right? You got a round shape. Okay. Just like that. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Okay, let me see here. All right, now let's go ahead and add some extra lines or whatever that we need. All right, and now I think we're pretty much done. It didn't take us long at all, right? You see? Now, if you look at this shape versus that shape, right? Both pictures kind of resemble her, right? Both pictures resemble her, but this is just too much. I can pull it off. You get what I'm saying? As a cartoon of her. I'm not saying it doesn't look any, but I just, you know what I mean? I don't like the over-exaggerated. This exaggeration doesn't make any sense because it's not like her face. It's not, her head shape is completely off. This bullety type shape, when she has very wide, you see how this is very wide out here like this? So she has more of a shape that looks like this. Right? Her shape is more like wider. So you want use shapes that's going to make your drawing come out wider. Shapes like this one. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do the shadowing on this one. This is going to be my last drawing before I go into my word of the day. Okay, guys. So I'm going to share a little bit of a word for you with you today, and then after that, we're going to Okay. Oh, I forgot to do the ear. Yeah, I did. Thank you. Good observation. The tone. Right. So we can just stick it back there. Watch. All right. There it is. Just like that. We just put it in there. Okay. Let's put some lipstick. If you guys come back on our next stream, I'll be streaming again on Tuesday. I stream at 9. I stream on Tuesdays at 9:30 in the morning, and then I'll stream on Saturdays at 9:30. So if you want to come back and check out another stream with me, you're more than welcome. Love to have you. Okay. 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 Now let's do some hair here. So let's see. I'm gonna darken these in just a bit more. She has very dark colored eyes. Okay, just like that. Okay. And then we're going to do I'm going to do some hair here. So we're going to use this, but we're going to do it very lightly. Okay. So what we want to do is when we do this hair, we want to go around it first of all with a light texture all the way around because our hair is, so we don't want to press too hard with this. So watch how I do blonde hair with the crayon versus how I do dark hair with the crayon. All right. So just like this. And make sure you got you a big crayon. If you're going to use this crayon thing, get you a big crayon. Right? So once we do this, right, then we can come back and we can add more shadows to the inner section of the hair, right? And then we'll just add some lines in here. Not too many. I have to always keep myself, I have to refrain from using too many lines in my pictures. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So all we have to do now is sign out work. So we have, I think her name is Erin, Erin, E-R-I-N, M-O-R-I-A-R-T-Y. Okay. All right. So pretty much, guys, I'm done. I think I got one extra little touch I want to do here. I did something about that darkness right here. You see how that brings the eyes like a little bit closer to you. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more like you're looking at those eyes right there. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change up our music here for a sec. Give me a sec here. All right, guys. So I want to thank y'all for coming out to the stream today. It was super awesome. Okay. So wow, that's crazy. So today I'm going to go into my word. I'm going to go ahead and go into my word of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this tablet off here. We really don't need that anymore. Okay. And what we're going to do is just share a little bit of the word with you. And then from my devotional. And then we'll go ahead and get you guys out of here. This takes about maybe 10 minutes or so. And so if you have your Bibles handy, you want to join with me. Thank you, God, for just waking me up this morning. Thank you for my family, the friends that I have. Thank you that I'm not in a hospital bed, that I'm not dead, that I still have, an opportunity to get things right in my life. That I thank you for giving me the will and the strength to want to help others, and not to be as self-absorbed as I was at one point in my life. So I just pray, God, that whoever this word is that what I'm about to share, that not only that it strengthened me, but that someone else here is strengthened by it today as well. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to 2 Timothy. If you guys have your Bible handy, let's go ahead and go over there real quick. Timothy is one of my favorite books in the Bible because, well, my best friend's name is Timothy. So I'm always saying, remember in the Timothy, right? Remember Timothy? Okay. So 2 Timothy, we're going to go to the second chapter and we're going to go to the 23rd verse. Okay. So today's word of the day is going to be about arguing. Okay. Avoiding arguments. Okay. One of the things that came to my mind as soon as I saw this particular study was that, man, isn't it crazy how sometimes we can have information that's factually correct, right? And but even though it's factually correct, it doesn't mean that we should say it because we haven't considered all the other things. Like, and I like to equate everything to drawing. This way you can see what I'm talking about when I say this, because everything is connected. Okay. And so when I'm drawing something, okay, there's a lot of details in a face, right? You got your face, right? And you got a lot of details, and let's say you got a lot of wrinkles, and you got a lot of, whatever. You got so many details. And so what we do is we spend a lot of time in our drawings trying to put every single last, and then we go back and every single last detail. And then you get the point here is that the picture starts to look very muddy and old work, and it starts to lose the likeness because you put so much in, or I'm saying, with those details. So as I was thinking about that, I was like, you're saying things that without considering context. You're saying things without considering where you are. These are things in context. Why you are there. And what you're trying to do. And what are the possible consequences of what you are going to do. Okay? What, why, where, how you want to say it. Okay? So if my goal is to help you, for instance, and I know that you don't agree with something that I'm about to tell you, the first thing, the rules of engagement are, and it even says this in the Bible, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. You get what I mean? Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. So people will tend to open up to you more if you consider these things before you establish a rapport with them. You establish a relationship with them. You ask them how they're doing. You compliment them on something. You get an opening, right? But you don't just straight up start throwing your ideas at somebody, right? That's like walking up to a dog you don't know is mean or vicious or whatever. You gotta look at the dog first, and then you gotta put your hand out there. Don't even put your hand out there. Just look at him from the other side of the gate first. See what his behavior is and what he's going to do. What you going to do? Go in there and tell him sit, All dogs need to sit down and listen, right? And this dog takes your whole head off because you didn't consider context. Because that he doesn't care that you know until he knows that you care. So this is what this is talking about, I believe, as I even get into this about avoiding arguments. It says in 2 Timothy, refuse to get involved in inane discussions. They always end up in fights. They always end up in fights. Politics will make you fight with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Sexuality, these things fight. So when you talk to somebody or you're trying to help somebody, that in those areas, we need to have established a relationship with those people first. That person that you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, if you really sit back, the opportunity for you to speak will come about, but you can't go around forcing what you would think or what you understand the world to be on another person. And just because another person does it, two wrongs don't make a right. We're talking about the word of God. We're talking about how do we effectively communicate. After all, the object of communication is to communicate. And you want to communicate because normally you have a desire and you want something that you want to get done. So you're going to somebody else to communicate that idea to them. Okay, now what happens a lot of times is that because we're not using the correct approach, we don't try to understand one another from a human being standpoint first, then we get into those type of things. Prime example, I had a nephew of mine a long time ago. He asked me about sexuality. Okay, I didn't ask him about it. He was my nephew, and I mean, I didn't come to him and impose anything, but I got much rapport with him. You know what I'm saying? He came to me and he asked me this, and it was just me and him in the car. You get what I'm saying? Now, first of all, look at where was I at? We were in a private situation. So if I'm in a private situation, that means that because sometimes what will cause people to act out is simply because you said it to them in front of somebody else. Simply because you couldn't wait to pull them to the side and say, hey, I had it, this happened over here at work today, or this whatever, and you did this and it made me feel this way. That alone could change the consequence, you know what I'm saying, or the outcome of what's about to happen. But it says, refuse to get in these discussions. They always end up in fights. God's servant must not be argumentative, but be a gentle listener. You don't go around antagonizing folks. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not considering consequences. You're not considering the context. You're not considering the what or the why or the where. Okay? And in the perfect world, perhaps you would never have to even look at these things. Maybe some people, we're supposed to innately understand this. Okay? But the world is not perfect. The world is not perfect. And we have people that come from all different backgrounds. Some people didn't have good parents. Some people had parents that were not, they were there, but they really weren't there. You know what I mean? Some people went through traumatizing things in their life. Some people, you know what I mean? They're going through all kinds of mental hell. And then right now, we live in a time where we have so much access to information. And then I don't know about you, but if you're older and you're listening to this, and even if you're young, you can understand, maybe you can feel me when I say, sometimes we can get information that we don't know how to process. You know what I mean? And when and not knowing how to process something, it gets frustrating, and then it causes us to become angry, and then we want to act out. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be a gentle listener, a good conversationalist. And that's one thing Caricature has taught me is I have to talk to a lot of people from all walks of life. And I've talked to people about all kinds of stuff that people wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. But you know why? Because the word of God gave me discernment to consider my audience before I open my mouth. We got too many people out here telling you, and it's wrong. If you want to die quick, go out there and just say whatever you want to say to whoever you want to say it to. But my mom said one thing to me. She says, all the bad son of a guns are in the cemetery, right? Or in jail. All the people that's bad, like they just bad. I'm just bad. I just do what I want. I say what I want. Be what I want. I say what I want. Nobody can tell me what to do. All those people right there, they eventually wind up in one of two places, jail or dead. Now let's see what the word has to say for us. If you're often drawn into arguments, you may simply think that you're telling it like it is, okay? Or setting other people straight. So sometimes I can feel that. But most quarrels create hard feelings and become emotional exchanges rather than reasoned discussions. Okay? So if me and my wife, for instance, we got an issue going on with each other, okay? When we sit down at the table to talk about those things, we're not gonna, I always wait until there's no anger. You get what I'm saying? We don't want no anger to be in that situation. We want everybody to be calm. If I have to talk to my children about something and to correct them, right? If I'm angry about what they did, I don't talk to them about it right then. I don't care how I feel. I'm going to go and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to go do something, go pray. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to do something. But I got to get perspective because I'm angry because I want a solution. And I know that anger gives a foothold to the devil. So if I want a solution, I got to think, how can I come at her? Or how can I say this without and get the result I want? Because at the end of the day, the result that I want is the result that I want, right? And a pen is mightier than the sword. So it's easier to talk somebody in or to reason with people, and even if you don't think it, it's easier to attack the mind than it is to attack you physically. That's what the devil does. He even understands that the Bible is a book to tell you how to think or how to think clearly when all of the facts seem jumbled up. What should you do in this situation? Well, the scripture tells us how to respond. That's all the scriptures do. How do you respond when somebody does this? How do you respond when somebody does that? How do you respond when somebody does this? It's not a book that's supposed to be used to be going around beating people over the head with. I don't know why why we don't get it. It's not a beat somebody over the head situation. It's simply a way to teach you how to actually love people. And I think we don't know what that does. We sometimes don't understand how to love. That means act in the best interest of someone else. That's what love is. Period. The whole book is summed up in that. I don't care whether you believe in all that. You believe in love, and that's what God is. God is love. Is Him. He wants us to love each other. And by loving them, sometimes you love somebody by not messing with them. And you let them suffer the consequences of their actions. That can be love. You get what I'm saying? Love can be sometimes if I'm at a corner and a guy's asking me for money. Love can be I say no because I see that he's going to go spend it on drugs. He's a drug addicted state. I would only be giving him money to get drugs with. That's my discernment. But then there's another man that I might be helping on that same corner that's not like that. And the discernment will say he's just down on his luck. You get what I'm saying? Or love could be give him the money anyway that he's a drug addict but all you have to make room for God to give you the discernment in that situation. You just can't take one thing and apply it blanketly over a whole situation. You get what I'm saying? Without allowing the Holy Spirit to show you how to love this person. So it says here, most quarrels create hard feelings and become emotional exchanges rather than reasoned discussions. So ask yourself what you spent the most time doing. What do you spend the most time doing during an argument? I don't know about you, but I'm always thinking about how I'm going to answer you back. I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm only thinking about what I want to say. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. But it asks here, do you patiently listen to the other person, trying to understand his or her viewpoint, or are you listening, meaning impatiently waiting for your turn to speak? Are you listening to them, or are you impatiently, does this thing well up inside of you and I just gotta say something? Okay? Some people are just thrill seekers. right? And they try to say, well, it's natural to correct somebody, and you just got to do it because people need to hear this, and people there. What do you know what that people need? You don't know that. You're just saying that because you're parroting it because you're emotional at this time. Emotions will make you do things that are not logical. Okay? The Bible says God's servant must be a gentle listener. In other words, turn off what you think and how you see the world, because you may very well be able to help them so much better when you listen. You'll see the whole in their argument. Okay? When you listen, you'll see the holes in the argument of the other person. You'll also see whether you should even address this right now. You could be talking to somebody, and inside I've been talking to people, and the first thing that God says, don't pour water on infertile ground. Don't pour your water on the infertile ground. Don't pour your seeds on infertile ground. This person's not willing to receive. Maybe they don't like you because they don't like you, so they're not going to receive nothing from you, right? Or maybe it could be another reason why, but their heart's been hardened. Maybe they've been hurt before, you know what I'm saying, by someone that's at the church. These are real things, you know what I'm saying? So they turn against God. So if you just sit there as a person is in that situation and you say, but it's wrong, you should believe it, right? No. What I need to do is I need to establish a relationship with you. And that might just be saying hello to you every day that I see you at work. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, what's going on? I do it all the time, man. But I draw at restaurants a lot. So not one restaurant have I been drawing at, and they kicked me. They told me I couldn't come back no more. Because I go there and I understand when to speak and what to say and how to say it and where to say it and all that kind of stuff. You develop a sense of this. This is the biggest part of being a caricature artist. It's not about how well you can draw. It's how well you can listen and talk to people. You know what I'm saying? If you say the right thing, and I'm just going to put if you listen and say the right thing, right, you'll make a really good living doing this. And you'll be happy within yourself. Now, it says here, granted, listen, there are times when you must contend earnestly for faith. There's times when you must do that. Okay? But you must contend with facts and solid reasons, not with a raised voice and intimidating body postures. Okay? So sometimes if we're talking and we're on a serious topic and you come across as sarcastic, or you raise your voice at me, or you're lording over me and you're pointing in my face, right? That's different than contending earnestly for your faith. That means telling somebody in a heartfelt way what God has done for you and why your faith is so strong. That's what that means. It's not me. I don't try to convince people to believe in God. I don't do that. I share my faith and I let them make that decision. I'm merely sharing, like today, I'm not trying to make you believe anything, okay? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to answer for what you did, and I have to answer for what I did. You get what I'm saying? But what I will tell you is that I've seen the power of God transform my life from a drug addict, a sexual deviant, alcoholic, a bad dad, a bad father, a liar. I've seen him change me from that person. I just described me, so I can talk about me all I want to. And he changed me once the Holy Spirit came into my heart. It changed the way that I saw people. So now if I see a young lady, I don't think of her as a pornography film no more. What I see is a person and a daughter of somebody and a granddaughter, right? This is what I see. This is what God does. He transforms you to see. You get what I'm saying? This young man that did recently, they had a thing on the news about the gentleman that just recently passed away, that was assassinated by this young man. And this young man never see what the word of God could have done. See, he didn't see this person as another person. He didn't see he didn't see him as a father. He didn't see him as anything other than what he hated. He painted him as something he hated, and then that's it. And no other thing, or something that he wanted, was the only thing he could see. And when you get like that, you see what kind of decision you'll make. You understand what I'm saying? That's what this is all about. Solomon said, and I'm closing up here, starting a quarrel is like opening a floodgate. So stop before a dispute breaks out. Don't go out looking to argue with people. That's all I'm saying here. Don't go out looking for a fight. It's always, most times, better to let the fight come to you than you go look for the fight. In other words, don't worry about tomorrow, right? Today has its own worries. A lot of the times we go out and we quarrel and fight because we're worried about tomorrow. We're worried about what's going to happen the next day, but we need to be in the day that we're in and worry about the battle for that day. It says, know what's actually worth disputing and what's not. That's a key. One time when me and my wife have a disagreement, I think to myself, even if I'm right, if I win this argument, what am I going to get? A cookie? Am I going to get a Snickers bar? What am I going to get? Right? All I'm going to get is a wife walking around the house mad and the whole energy of the house is messed up. All over an argument about a towel on the floor that I didn't put there, that somebody else did, but she swears that I did it. You always touching my towel. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Whatever. I'll make sure the towel gets picked up next time. Whatever. I don't care about winning this argument because I don't get anything at the end for it. And then finishing up, it says, often the wisest thing you can do is avoid getting drawn into a disagreement. Today, people is pulling out guns and shooting people. It ain't like back in the day when we would fight with our fists. Now, everybody has switches, is what they call them. They got guns, and they want to use them, right? Because they've been watching so much social media, so much bad things on social media, so much stuff to divide us, so much stuff all social media does for, if you're not responsible with how you use it, all it's going to do is going to give you a bunch of reasons to fight with each other. And you will become an argumentative person, and a person that wants to state their opinion on everything without knowing any of the facts about what you're talking about. You just want to say something just so you can be popular. Some people will just say stuff just to cause a controversy. But the word of God tells us that we should not be like that we should avoid arguments. Okay? So guys, that is our word of the day. Avoid arguments. Refuse to get involved in inane discussions. They always end up in fights, says the scripture. God's servant must not be argumentative, but be a gentle listener. Okay? So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end on that note. I want to thank you guys for coming out today. If you did enjoy the stream, guys, don't forget to share the stream with friends, family, whatever. If they like to draw, whatever, they like to watch people draw, other than that kind of stuff, you can, tell them about the stream. Heather, you says, how much are your one-on-one classes and what are the lengths per classes? Okay. Right now, Heather, we have a bundle going on. We have a 3-class bundle, I believe, for, I think it's 105, and you get 3 classes. Each class is about, I'd say about 35 to 40 minutes long. And it's a one-on-one situation, and I kind of work around what your schedule is. So if you'll reach out, let me go ahead and put that information up here for you. So if you'll reach out to me, here we have our one-on-one classes, at rouserworld.com/classes. Okay, so you can reach out to me there, and all that information will be there for you. Again, guys, I'd love to have you as part of my Patreon family. So you'll go there, you'll find a lot of resources, a lot of good videos and stuff about drawing, also some behind the scenes stuff, and me talking about some life things, you know what I mean? Just different things that I feel are uplifting and helpful. And they also, most importantly, they show you how to love. And last but not least, guys, tips are awesome. If you want to tip, thank you so much, guys. We certainly appreciate it. You can tip at Cash App $Rouser. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, guys, and we're going to get out of here. Again, it's been a pleasure to teach you today. I'll be streaming again on next Tuesday. Also, I have a Spanish stream. My Spanish speakers, if you guys are say habla español, right? I'm going to be doing my Spanish streams on Mondays and Thursdays from now on. So those are going to be at 10:30 in the morning, 10:30 a.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. So if you only understand Spanish and you need a Spanish teacher, right, to teach you how to draw, I'm that guy. Okay, so I'm going to be doing my Spanish lessons. Todos los lecciones son hacer en español. Okay, so tú puedes venir y aprender de dibujar caricaturas. Okay, all right, so guys, pass on buen día, or have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. So I'm gonna go ahead here. All right, guys, on